So we are live this morning in the Facebook group. Good morning, Katie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I am going to type in good morning because this is my favorite time of the morning. I give ladies a shout out. So when you come on, ladies, say good morning so that I know that you are there and I can shout your name out. Okay. So MM is on. Good morning. How are you? So ladies, remember to type in good morning. This way I will know that you are there and I can give you your shout out. Winetta, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Janice, good to see you this morning. Katie and I are just kind of hanging out here this morning, giving you ladies time to come on. We are so excited to be back here another day. I am excited to see you. It's good to be seen. Rachel, good morning. How are you? Ubang is there. Good morning, Ubang. How are you? Ladies, thank you so much for getting up and hanging out with us this morning. You know, I do not take your time for granted. I so appreciate you. Welcome to October the 4th, hanging out here with Katie. Katie and I were sitting here talking prior to coming on live. So Katie's hanging out and we're just both talking about what it means to live intentional and how freeing it could be. So Katie, say good morning again to the ladies as they come on to hang out with us.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here and I'm excited to have these conversations and, kind of join this community of amazing, empowered women that are here to learn and be inspired by Eva every week. So, and I love the work that you do, Eva. It's really important. It's really wonderful.
Thank you so much. This is a great platform. Cheryl, good morning. She's on. It's a great platform for us all to share. And every Sunday, every morning, actually, I'm grateful. But on Sundays, especially before I come on, I always pray and thank God for this platform. And I pray and thank God for all the ladies that show up because it's a good feeling to be able to be around so many great women. And Pam is on this morning. Good morning, Pam. And so I'm grateful. And like I said, I give thanks every Sunday morning for this platform. So I'm excited to be here. Grateful for all the ladies that get up consistently, that are committed, that show up every Sunday morning. So ladies, again, as you come on, say good morning so that I will know that you are there and I can give you a shout out. I am drinking coffee this morning. What's in your cup? Megan said good morning, excited to see us both together. Megan introduced Katie and I, so thanks, Megan, for the introduction.
And I gotta just throw this in there, Eva. As Megan and I have formed our friendship, we realized that we have something in common, and also with you. I lived in Chicago at one point in my life as well, even though I'm not there now. And so I lived there. And when I used to work for American Airlines back in the day, and I lived on the northwest side, Irving Park and Pulaski area. And when I worked at O'Hare Airport for American Airlines for a number of years. So I have, when we realized that about each other, even though it was at different times, we always had that Chicago connection, which I think
is, wow. Okay. And just so you know, Katie's in Buffalo. Is it Buffalo?
Buffalo. I'm in Buffalo, loud and proud.
Yeah, she's on the East Coast. She's in Buffalo, New York. Yeah.
So it's a little later here, so I can really appreciate you guys getting up at this even earlier than I had to for this. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, ladies, say good morning because we're going to get started in a moment. Again, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to shout your name out. So if you're on, just type in good morning. That way I'll know you're there and I can give you a shout out. But we're going to go ahead and get started anyway, because I want to make sure that we utilize this time so that Katie can share her experiences with us. So ladies, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Again, thank you so much for getting up and joining us. You know, I do not take your time for granted. I totally appreciate you. Thank you. And with that, I am just going to turn it over to Katie Burd. And again, Katie's in Buffalo, New York. Katie, thank you so much for agreeing to be our guest this morning. I so appreciate you. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you have a good 20 minutes or so just to share your experiences with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm going to give you lots of gratitude for being here. It is very important to me. I have had, some amazing opportunities to change my life in the past 4 years, which has led me to where I am today. So I would not be sitting here today without, the love and support of the people that have been instrumental in helping me change. And I just do want to make sure that I mention, I just got a chance to read your book, Eva, too. And this is just exceptional in every single way. And I didn't have this when I was, really deciding to make a change in my life. But this book is exactly what can be a huge catalyst for people to change their lives. So I just need to make sure I honor and show you the love and the gratitude for this, because just reading it was just so beautiful, and it's really an amazing step-by-step guide. So I hope that you are changing and inspiring other people to change their lives with this book. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Anyway, so yes, I am in Buffalo, and I have been but after the 2016 presidential election, I had a epiphany the day after the election, after being involved in politics locally here since 2004. I originally, back in 2004, as a stay-at-home mom, had little kids, and I had this urge to get involved. I had to get off the couch. I had to do something. So back in 2004, I called the Erie, Pennsylvania headquarters of John Kerry's presidential campaign and said, how can I help? And my life changed from that point on. I went down there not knowing anyone, and at that point I knew that there was something that was tugging me to get involved, whether it be politically, community minded. There was something there that had never been there before. So I kind of let that piece guide me for a number of years, leading up to 2016. I even ran for office in my local community in 2013 and still hold a seat on the board here in my community. And in 2016, though, I watched a qualified, intelligent, respected woman get eviscerated in the local media for months and months and months. And I really struggled with that personally, and I really wasn't exactly sure how in tune I was to it, or how much it was actually affecting me, until the day after the election. And I realized that what I had just witnessed really on the national scale was actually really happening in my personal life as well. My personal life was a mess. I was in an 18-year marriage that was volatile and dehumanizing. It never got necessarily violent, but it was extremely vicious. It was really, really unhealthy. And what I was finding is that when I was watching, what was happening on the national stage, and then connecting it to inside, my thought line back then was, oh, well, if she wins and everything's, and we can just pretend this all didn't happen, because that's what I was actually doing in my marriage. I was thinking, oh, it's going to get better. We can just pretend it doesn't happen. And when it didn't happen, when that piece didn't happen, I could identify two ways of my political life was I was so just taken down, what I mean? I was like, this can't happen politically. But then I realized that, I was also really having to deal with what I had to look at in my personal marriage. So it was like this kind of crazy, perfect storm. So I knew at that point, there was no way I could sweep either one of them under the rug. So what I needed to do was change my life. And I didn't even know it at the time, but what I did was I turned off every single ounce of media, television, any external narratives that were around me, because I was so stressed out and did not know what to do. So I totally went internal. I didn't know how else to do it. I Googled how to meditate. Like I had no tools. I had no books. I had no prior experience, I just intuitively knew that I needed to get still and I needed to get quiet and I needed to figure out what was going on in my life. So I did for like, and I thought it was an experiment. Okay, for 2 months, I'm just going to not listen to any media. I'm not going to listen to any news. I was just going to, you know, kind of dig deep within me. And I kind of came out of that situation or out of those couple months with two things that my intuition was telling me. And one of them is you have more love to give and you have more work to do. And so with that premise and with those two guiding principles, I really didn't know what that meant. And I'm still using those two principles to guide my life every day. And I'm still super uber curious about where they both will continue to take me. But when I got still and I got that message, things started to change in my life. And I was introduced to a program early in 2017 called Women Elect. So Women Elect is a in-depth leadership empowerment program that coaches and trains women to run for elected office. It turns out that I was a good enough fit that in the program, the director of the program asked me and hired me to work as the class facilitator in the evening program. So I started learning the program and teaching it. At the same time, I was realizing that there was a lot of layers to myself that I needed to uncover. This program is kind of designed to do that. So while I was actually taking the class and learning how to, you know, facilitate it, I was actually unlayering myself at the same time. It's a real strip down. It's a real way of getting women in touch with themselves so that they can find their authentic voice, so they can eventually use it when they run for office. So, and I was in that space too, that I needed to find that authentic voice and realize that when I came through that, I realized I needed to file for divorce from my husband. So in March of that year, I started figuring out how to do that, not having any money whatsoever. We financially were completely strapped. So I had to start from scratch on how to do that, how to hire a lawyer, like networking, figuring out who I could afford to do. It took me till September to actually get the money and get the courage to finally actually serve him with papers. And so that year I served him with divorce papers, and and then I realized I needed a full-time job. So I ended up quitting my job of 16 years and started a new career in logistics management. So I was doing Women Elect at night, and I was doing logistics management for a fabrication company for museum fabrication. By 2018, my divorce was finalized, however, or is in the process of being finalized. We'd gone through court. It was not pretty, but we got through it. I realized we had to sell our house. We had no real money. So I knew that after 18 years, we had to sell our house and start over. And so I also have 3 children, 3 teenagers. So it was a really interesting time, and I didn't really necessarily know where I was going to live, but I knew that it was the right thing to do to get rid of the house. And so we sold the house. I got rid of all my belongings except for what fit in a 10 by 10 storage unit. I was 48 years old, and I was like, I still know that I have more love to give and more work to do. And those were my guiding principles. Those were the things that I still needed to do. I knew that my heart was big enough to say, I love this life that I'm creating so much that I am willing to just burn it down and start over. And so that's what we did. That house held a lot of bad memories, and I knew financially we weren't going to be able to keep it, or one of us wouldn't be able to keep it. So we got rid of that. I got rid of everything that came with that life. And I didn't necessarily even have a place to live because I had faith and hope that something would, show up. And lo and behold, through some help from Megan, our mutual friend, she let me stay with her for a little while. And then I have this beautiful house that showed up that I could rent and afford. And it was for my kids. It had enough space. So 2018 ended in that space that I was just, still trying to figure out, where I was going, what the work piece was, how it was all going to fit in. I found a really wonderful man that I worked with that was kind to my heart and soul and helped in so many ways of healing me. I was very broken in that way. By 2019, I had also had to come to a realization that I had, in my marriage, allowed an estrangement to my parents happen. So for 9 years, I lost 9 years with my parents and my brother, through an estrangement based on the shame and the heaviness and the volatile relationship marriage that I was in. My kids lost time with their grandparents, and I lost precious years with my parents. So in 2019, I heard of my mother. A friend of my mother's had called me and said that my mother was sick, very sick. She had rectal cancer, and she stage 4 rectal cancer. And so I immediately called my mother after many, many years, and I said, I hear you're sick and we need to see each other. And through this time, I mean, really through this time, even though like there was a lot of really hard pieces of my life going through the divorce, I continued to meditate. I continued to go within to find the answers. I continued to allow and be open to forgiveness, not for anger, not to act out or make decisions based on revenge or based on bitterness. I found within myself, which I didn't never knew I had, but I had an inkling, there had to have been there, that I needed to be more kind to myself, and then I could give that to others. I could give that so freely. And that was the transformation that I was actually really feeling through some of these horrific like life experiences of losing your house and your marriage dissolving. But there was this piece that was emerging from me that was spiritual and giving and loving and forgiving. And it was really, and in early 2019, it was really profound when I got to go back and see my mother. So we met, and she was very sick, but yet fighting so much for her life and for her dignity and for her spirit. And I saw that in her, and I got to look at her in the face after all I had been through, and to see this incredible soul in front of me, that everything kind of washed away from the years that we missed and the feelings that I thought maybe I had that she, didn't love me, because I felt that. I really did forever. I was terrified of my parents. I really thought they hated me. And that was, my ex-husband kind of reiterated that, statement to me over and over again. He's like, everyone hates you, Katie. Your parents even hate you. You don't have a relationship. They hate you. Everyone hates you. So I believe that. So there was a really deconditioning that I needed to come to through this experience. And if I didn't allow myself to do that, if I wasn't kind enough to myself to do that, I would never have been able to look at my mother in the face and tell her, hands down, regardless, that she's a beautiful, inspiring, amazing human being. And the reason why I know that about her is because I know that about me. And for me to be able to say that to my mother was like one of the most freeing, transformative moments that I'll never forget. And it changed on a dime our relationship. There was a deep love there that was brought to the surface, that nothing else mattered. The years didn't matter, that nothing else mattered. It was just this deep sense of gratitude and witnessing that other person, and then seeing those qualities in me, and then showing her, look what you've created. Look at this person that you've created in me. It doesn't matter how many years that passed. Look at this. And I can look at you and be equally as amazed and inspired by your beauty and love. And it literally transformed. She went through a horrific surgery and came out. She is still alive today. My mother is a survivor. She's not only a survivor, she's a thriver. We're like such good friends now. But I still had one more hurdle to get through, and that was my dad. So my dad was my one that I was so afraid of. I was so scared my dad did not love me. I was so afraid that he was going to hold, these years that I was away against me. But I ended up seeing him a few weeks later, or a month or two later, after I had that connection with my mom, after her surgery, and she was in the hospital, and I was bracing for it. I hadn't seen his face in 8 years. And he came in the room, and I was just overcome with, again, just this beautiful peace and grace and love for myself. So I knew that whatever he showed me, I could handle. But he didn't show me what I expected. He showed me that gentle, beautiful, soft side to him that I remembered, not the man that I was afraid of, the man that I remembered. And at the end of that time when we sat in the hospital room with my mom, and she was kind of awake and not awake, and my brother showed up, and we kind of all had this really interesting reunion. And at the end of that time, I remember going over to my dad, and I looked him in the face, and before I hugged him, I looked him right in the eyes, and I said, "I love you." And I didn't know what he was going to say back, but what he said was, "I love you too." 9 years. That's all that took. And so from that day forward, my dad and I spent so many amazing times together, just having coffee or meeting. He'd call me, "Hey, Kate, you want to come over for, coffee, or do you want to meet me for breakfast?" And there was these really, I got to share with him all the experiences that I had over the years, the divorce, and the way that I rose, and the way that I, was able to kind of come through it. And he always used to say, "Stay lighthearted, Katie. Stay lighthearted. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do it." And he was always my biggest. He was a great support to me. And so for a year, we had rekindled, and he passed this past February. He was not very sick. He got sick in one day and was gone in two. On the third day, he was gone. But what I was able to do was be at his bedside, and I shared gratitude with him for loving me even when we weren't together. I knew he loved me that whole time, because if he hadn't, there would not have been that way that we could rekindle. So I think that there's so much to be said for, even though we have estrangements or being apart from each other, there's a transcendence of love that is bigger than us. It's bigger than our actual physical bodies. It's that vibration. It's that power. So the other piece that I've come to determine is that love, deep love for yourself and for others is the most powerful force on the planet. It can transform any single thing you want. And it's amazing. So now that we're here in 2019, I also, the work piece, so the love piece was kind of showing itself up. More love to give. I had so much love to give. I had so much love to give to my parents. I had so much love to give to my friends. I had so much love to give to my new boyfriend. I had so much love to give to my community, the world at large. I was just bursting with love because I found it and I was able to give it, and then it was received back, and it just became this driving force. And in 2019, I was also, the work side through Women Elect, invited to become to present and speak to high school girls about women in government and running for office. On multiple occasions, I was able to speak with high school girls, whether they were in the classroom or at different community events that I was able to present at. I was also invited to speak and present at 2 different occasions to a group of international women that came through Buffalo. The first one was from Latin America and Brazil and Guatemala and countries of that sort. These were women leaders that were coming through and touring the United States, looking for different ways that they can show leadership and do things back in their countries. The second group of women were from Northern Africa and the Middle East, and women that were universally engaged with the message of not believing that they can step up and run for office, not having, equal representation in governments, and knowing that to drive social and political change, women need to be at the table universally, globally. This isn't just a problem in the United States, this is a global issue. And the confidence piece, the lack of confidence that women have, is a global issue. This is not, we're not unique. We are. And so what I found when I got in this space with these women from all over the world, there was a communion, and there was a shared, light bulb moment that we were all in to say, it's true for me, it's true for you. It was true for all of us in the sense that we limit ourselves based on what our limited beliefs are about how qualified we are, or how, you know what I mean, lack of qualified. No, someone else, you know, I'm not as good. That person should do it. And I can't do it. And that was really eye-opening for me. So I realized that the program that I'm in, Women Elect, is much bigger than what I had originally envisioned. It's a much grander, bigger opportunity to empower and coach and teach that piece for politically purposes. There's a lot of, you know, empowerment pieces for women, but for political purposes, we need to strip down the politics and actually build up that voice, build up the voice of community and love and humanity and all those things. So when I think about the love and the work, again, it aligns because it's the love of the work, loving of yourself, then loving the world, loving you, loving our friends and neighbors, and then putting it on a bigger scale. And then how can we drive the political message and the social messages based on that concept, instead of trying to be like men and, you know what I mean, trying to govern and live by that. Bring out the innate qualities in women, because we're missing that at the table. Women are caretakers, women are nurturers. We bring out you know, new ways of doing things, new ideas, new ways of sharing. We have a different perspective on how we care for the world. And that's greatly missing on every level in every government around the world. And I think that's what shows in our life today, in our world today. So anyway, so I kind of took a step in a different direction with Women Elect and started thinking about what we can do on a national level, on a global level, and have been in development stages to that point on. And through the founder and director who originally hired me in May of this, now 2020, this COVID hit, so we were kind of grounded a little bit. She handed over the program to me. She said, Katie, she's like, I know that this is what you want to do. This is part of your work, the work you need to do. And I believe that it aligns with you. She's like, I've been at this program for 10 years and I'm stepping aside and giving it to you.
Wow.
So I am coming up now on this next presidential election. I believe that my spiritual journey and politics has been not by coincidence. And so I'm excited to see where the rest of it goes. I know we're almost out of time and I'm so sorry I talk too much, but I just wanted to make sure I shared that.
So first and foremost, while you were talking, I was getting goosebumps. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And I love what you said as it relates to, I have more love to give and more work to do. And obviously you set out to do just that. Your story is so inspiring and so powerful. And the love piece, first of all, my condolences for the loss of your father, but I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to spend some time with him, you know, before he passed away. And I was taking notes, as I always do, but I was listening to you, how you quit your job. I mean, first of all, you know, being married for 18 years, quit your job, 3 teenage children, sold your house, and how you just stepped into your truth. I mean, you tapped into that person within, because you said you had to go internally. Mm-hmm. Everything you need and everything you needed was within you, and you pursued that. And one of the things that you and I were talking about before we came on is just how powerful it can be once you start to tap into the person within. It's like you're rediscovering yourself, and you find out just how powerful and just how talented you are. And it's so freeing, because it actually allows you to be free. Mm-hmm. So your story is amazing, and the work that you're doing, to your point, because as women, a lot of us lack confidence. And what happens is we have this external facade, but people, you know, we're in the same room with people that lack confidence, but we're too afraid to share it or show it. So yeah, it's very powerful story, very powerful.
Yes, it's so true. So, and I believe, like I said, if it's true for me, then it's true for others. So let's bring that up and share it in a compassionate way. We don't have to, you know what I mean, be so scared to show it, because really, once you start to talk about it, you realize that, wow, it's universal. We're not alone here, ladies. And we're not, and we're here to, you know what I mean, bring those qualities about, because that's how we're going to change our world. And I do believe that with all my heart and soul, that we can change the world if we continue to honor those qualities and find that authentic voice and step into our truths in every way we can. We can do it. We can make a change.
Right. And I agree. And I know I'm going to let you ladies go. And once you step out of your comfort zone and start just being your authentic self, the stronger you become. Like even sharing your story, the more you share it, the stronger you become.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
thank you so much for sharing that. And that's why I'm grateful for this platform. And I'm always encouraging women to come on and share, because we can all learn from each other. So I am so grateful. And again, when you were speaking, I got chill bumps. So much love and respect to you for being such a strong person. But following what's been placed on your heart, I have more love to give and I have more work to do. And that takes a tremendous amount of faith, because you stepped out on faith, not, like you said, you didn't have the finances, you didn't have any place to live. And I can see the power in you. I could feel your energy just being here today. So love and blessings to you. I know you are going to make a difference in so many women's lives. So I am grateful to you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you so much. It means so much to me, really. And thank you for the work you're doing, because it's beautiful and it's needed and it matters and it's amazing. So I love you. Thank you very much.
You. So ladies, really quickly before I let you go, first and foremost, Katie, any last words for the ladies?
No, but I can tell you that my love and gratitude goes out for every woman that is even questioning or wondering what they need to do to fulfill themselves and to fill up their own tanks, and then give it, and then be able to give it. I always offer the opportunity for every woman, any person, to open your heart freely instead of closing it. When you open your heart freely, you will find unbelievable gifts and rewards there, instead of closing, open. That's what I say.
Right. Thank you. So ladies, really quickly, next week I will be back here for Coffee Talk. But again, thank you, Katie, so much for joining us today as a guest. Ladies, you have an open invitation. If you would like to be a guest, please, this is a safe space here, safe platform. We don't judge, we encourage, we inspire, and we can learn from you. So I would encourage you, if you'd like to come on, just inbox me. I would love to have you on as a guest. And the last thing, I want to share with you, I am going to have another virtual workshop this coming Saturday. The link is out here in the group. I encourage you, if you're looking for tools or space and place where you want to be your authentic self, this is a great workshop. It provides the tools for you to look at where your life may be out of balance, your values, vision, purpose, and or just confirmation if you already have a plan that you're on the right track. Is this Saturday, is being offered at an introductory price only this Saturday for the introductory price, because it goes up after that. But what I decided to do, because the virtual is a great platform, is to schedule them once a month. So with that being said, I'm sorry I kept you a little longer, but thank you so much for getting up and joining me for Coffee Talk. I do not take your time for granted. I totally appreciate you. Love and blessings to you and your family. Katie, thanks for being a guest. Love you much. Ladies, I'll see you back here next Sunday. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I totally appreciate you. Love and blessings to you and